Hello everybody, thank you very much for watching this video. I thought I'd do something a bit different today and have a voiceover for this particular piece to explain what was going on. This is a piece inspired by Voodoo Val to create our own Star Wars rated character using ourselves as a point of reference. In my depiction, I thought it would be good to do somebody called a Force Hunter who has force powers and uses those force powers to basically locate other like-minded creatures for a bounty. Basically, it doesn't really care whether it's for good or evil purposes, but their goal is just basically find people with force powers and sell them on to the highest person. In this first part of the video, you might notice it's all black and white, and I've put a little note on there. But basically, when I was recording the video, it wasn't very clear what I was doing in the initial sketching places, and that's because my camera setup is not yet at that level where I can pick up all the details. But this first bit is just basically getting some pose ideas and getting the kind of the concept that I had in my head onto paper. I did about 6 or 7 different images, the last one being the pose that I really kind of stuck with. Still working on my anatomy skills, and it was still a growing thing for me, but this was definitely part of the reason was just to really push the envelope and be more creative with just the type of stances that I had with him. In my character, the one that I chose in this instance, which was the manga style, and that was done by a vote on straw poll out of the 6 that I did. The idea I had behind him was that he had a bit like, is it Enzo from Rebels or whatever his name is in Rebels, where he had a lightsaber and a gun combined, and so that was kind of the concept idea that I had for the character, and I was trying to incorporate that, and I was trying to also make sure that the gun was not like the guy from the Rebels, so it was a different style, a more kind of what's the word I'm looking for, ceremonial, I suppose, for want of a better word, cultural. So the pistol, it wasn't just a gun put together. It had a very specific look to it. So anyway, so this was the pose I had with the hand using the force, and this is just a basic construction at this stage. Eventually, it will go on to the actual particular style that I had, and other styles that I had with this one were a battle droid version, a He-Man looking characteristic. I think now the manga style, which is very much of an oriental sort of style. I had one where it was kind of a cyborg, so it was kind of like metal, so it had a bit of a letter, so it was half robot, half human, or half, whatever alien race it was. And I can't remember the name of the guys that are blue and with the red eyes, but the guys from the Timothy Zahn book, I can't remember the name of it. I'm really struggling to remember the names of these things. Basically Grand Emperor Thrawn is basically what I'm referring to. So these were all different individual concepts. So what I did is I took the original pose and made 6 different individual concepts off the back of that, which is where the vote came in to the different characters. So we're going to go back to finalise. And what I'm going to do is, what I'm planning to do is, over time, go through each of the individual ones. So here you can see the manga style is the one that gets picked for this particular artwork. So now I'm just really refining it. I made him a bald head, even though I'm not bald, thankfully. Not yet anyway. But I gave him sort of a bald head. I just felt it fitted that particular character, that particular version the best. And again, just trying to refine the posture and the pose. The one thing that I realised afterwards that I did wrong with the painting side, which I'll see later on, is I just painted what I saw on screen rather than painting through an item. So for example, the lightsaber, instead of painting the actual full handle and then removing where the fingers are, like putting a mask over the fingers, I just did what I could see, and it's something I'm sort of learning to stop doing. So if I'm doing a body, for example, I paint the whole body first, then I paint the top as if the top is one, everything's visible then any pieces that are on top of the top I'll paint over that. So I'm still learning how to really digitally paint better and better, and come up with create these characters more refined. So here you can see there's a lot more detail in the character, got more of a stance and a pose. Now I do understand that, and I can see as I watch this video cringingly, that some of the leg posture is not where it should be, and the arm on the left hand side still needs a little bit of work to get that better and to do a better job of it. But again, it's something I'm still growing with. And if I look at this picture and some of my earlier artworks in that same pose, as much as I'm cringing looking and thinking, oh, I need to do that better, that's a far cry from where I was. Doing a pose like this I wouldn't have even considered at one point, but I would not have been able to draw it even to this level before. So it is a huge jump. If you look at some of the older videos, you'll probably see that, and some of my old artwork. Maybe one day I'll show those and do a show and tell type thing, showing previous to new. Although I've been doing that kind of lately. But my art style has really grown. I really feel like I'm getting my head around how to make the body postures right. And even as I look at this, even though, as I said, I'm cringing at some of the anatomy errors that are made on it, I also now seeing, okay, I know how to fix it. I know how to go back and, right, I know how to fix that leg and make that leg look right. I know how to make that look right. I know I need to move this arm over. There's things I've learned even from the original process, plus what I'm watching now, to help improve future artworks. And I do want to go back at some point, hopefully this year, and just even tweak this guy's a little bit to make him more accurate. One other thing I did with this character as well is I thought about, okay, the lightsaber. So you've got your green, so you got your original red and blue, which is the what do you call it, the Sith and the Jedi. Then you got introduced to the green, which is the makeshift one that Luke made for Return of the Jedi, and that's my personal favourite, the green one. Then later on, obviously with the introduction of Samuel Jackson, who I guess his favourite colour is purple, wanted a purple saber, so he introduced a brand new colour saber. And then in the Rebels, the Star Wars Rebels series, they also introduced a white saber, which is purely white, no colour at all, just completely white. So I thought, well, this is my character, this is a brand new one. What colour could be the most original? I can't go for blue, I can't go for purple. Even a shade of purple would still be purple. And I thought, well, actually, no one's done orange. So I've made my saber in my character orange to be completely out of the book, to be totally different and new. So that's why that was that colour. As you're seeing right now, there's some gold trim that I've done this, and I really want to kind of introduce some, again, different elements to this character that you wouldn't normally see in a Star Wars character. So again, using that whole Japanese, Oriental, manga style outfit, really want to incorporate a lot of gold, a lot of Oriental style patterns. So it's almost like he's a hunter, but there's a bit of a ceremonial aspect to this particular guy. So I was really trying to pull that into the artwork and try and make it just that bit more interesting. One of the things that I have noticed as well, since drawing this, when it comes to drawing clothing and making clothing flow and looking like it's flapping in the wind, it's not been a strength of mine to be able to do that in the past. But more recent images I've been doing, really kind of started to see that change in terms of just making the clothes looking flowing and effective. This picture was only done sort of middle of last year, but I know since then I've been, there's a lot of things I've changed. And even the way I do construction of the head, compared to most faces I do, I tend to kind of work on lean to the cartoony side. Maybe that's a laziness thing on my part, and a confidence thing where I'm not confident enough to do accurate faces, because I know again that's another thing that I'm over time I'm working on. But I tend to lean towards the cartoon side of facial features. But I am also now really trying to work on making sure that my faces are more accurate and more correct, especially if I'm doing something that's like this, a bit more realistic looking. So in this one, you know, I was starting to sort of work that through and trying to get that in there. But I look at it and think I still see the areas where, you know, I need to improve and get better, and it'd be good to review these sort of pictures, particularly as I do the other five characters, to look back and see see the improvements of each of the different versions of the characters and see how much more accurate each one is. This metal bit here, this metal bar, that's one of my favourite parts on this whole piece, and the reason for that is I really felt I captured that sense of this is a metal chunk on his shoulder, and it really feels solid. It feels part of the uniform of the whole excuse me, of this whole piece. I feel that for me, it sounds weird, the piece that really stands out for me in terms of just my ability and my skill level changing, because I'm not a painter. I don't particularly like painting. Sketching, drawing, not a problem. Dancing, singing, all that stuff, fine. But painting, not a big fan of painting. But digital painting is a little different because it's almost like I'm drawing still. Excuse me. So that's something I really liked. You might notice a little emblem on the head. I just want to give him a bit more of a difference. Again, he's a ceremonial character, so I gave him a little bit of an emblem on his head just to add a bit of extra depth to the character, and obviously adding the lightning like you would see with all the Sith Lords, like Palpatine, and I can't think, there's another Jedi that does lightning effect. And then here, just adding a bit of a border, just going a bit of roughness on the edge, and there is my Force Hunter. So I think this is pretty much the video, a lot shorter than I thought it was, but that's cool. But I hope you've enjoyed this. This whole voiceover video is very experimental, and I do hope that you've enjoyed this. And if you do like this voiceover thing going forwards, just drop a comment in below. I don't normally ask the comments below, but just drop a comment below if you like these voiceover versions of these artworks, and I will see if I can do more. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to click the like and subscribe if you want to see more, and don't forget to ring the little bell, tick the little bell, so that you get a notification when these go live. Currently I'm trying to do this every 2 weeks, a release every 2 weeks. Hopefully that will work, just to build up my channel a little bit and not to put undue pressure on me. But again, thank you very much for watching. Really hope you liked the video, and until next time, I will be seeing you.